today. You can also expect delays of the bridge to be opening for tests throughout the day. Bay City State Park and Saginaw County's new Saginaw River Headwaters Recreation Area are among park projects in 10 counties receiving help from the American Rescue Plan Act. The Michigan Department of Natural Resources has given the green light, along with nearly $16 million to park projects identified among its list of critical needs in Michigan state parks. Bay City State Park will receive $1.5 million to refresh and renovate the interior and exterior of the Saginaw Bay Visitor Center. Renovations include the reception area, exhibit hall, roof and siding, and the addition of a new science lab. General improvements include enhancements to make the park more accessible for all visitors. The new State County Park in Saginaw will get just over $867,000 to construct parking areas and a park entrance. The new state park is nearing completion on the former General Motors Malleable Iron site along the Saginaw River. The project will include new concrete bumpers, solar lighting, parking gates that meet Americans with Disabilities Act guidelines, fencing, and signage. The park will be jointly managed by the DNR and Saginaw County. The Anderson Enrichment Center has announced the return of its annual series Jazz in the Garden. Concerts will take place Wednesdays at the Lucille E. Anderson Memorial Garden and begin July 6th with the New Reformation Jazz Band at 7 p.m. The series runs through the month of July, concluding with a special 20th anniversary evening on the 27th. Concerts are free to the public, but attendees should plan to bring their own chairs. The auto industry's biggest worry in the second half of the year isn't so much the economy, it's the consumer. Here's Autobeat reporter Jeff Gilbert.
The biggest thing the auto industry has to fear is fear itself. Cox Automotive Chief Economist Jonathan Smoke says his biggest worry is consumer confidence.
I find it quite fascinating because there's a stark contrast in the consumer feels so negatively relative to actually the majority of consumers are doing fantastically from a financial standpoint.
Cox has lowered its sales outlook for the year to 14.4 million because of lack of supply. Smoke says demand will outstrip that supply, even if the nation does slip into recession.
WSGW News Time 9:07.
Are you ready for retirement? Well, Jason and Carl Kreiderman with Great Lakes Investment Advisors have a new book that can help make retiring easier. In Empower Your Retirement, they talk about how a well-thought-out financial plan can make the difference between just surviving and thriving in retirement. Using everyday language, this book explores how a simple process can help you cover all the bases of your financial life, including how taxes can affect your retirement and much more. Your finances are too important to leave to chance. Empower Your Retirement is written to help you understand the must-dos to prepare for the retirement you desire. Get your free copy of Empower Your Retirement by calling 989-848-1188. That's 989-848-1188. And for more on retirement planning, tune into Jason and Carl's radio show, Your Financial Empower Hour, every Sunday morning at 8. Firm provides insurance services, investment advisory services offered by Great Lakes Investment Advisors, Inc., a registered investment advisor firm in the state of Michigan. Investing involves risk, including the potential loss of principal.
WSGW News Time 9:09. And throwing out the Flint water criminal charges, the state Supreme Court ruled that the charges can't legally be brought by a one-man grand jury. Wayne County Prosecutor Kim Worthy calls ruling a blow to fighting crime. In a statement, Worthy said that the county has communities that are plagued by murders, drive-by shootings, and other violent crimes, and she says a one-man grand jury has been an important way to protect witnesses who would have never come forward for fear of deadly consequences. Worthy says she's now fearful for what the future will hold. Michigan State Police are warning the public of a phone call scam. Several people have called to report that they received a call from a state police representative asking for donations. MSP reminds residents that they will never call and ask you to send money. A Michigan man accused of threatening to kill President Joe Biden and bomb the White House has been ordered held behind bars pending his trial. 48-year-old Timothy Findlay appeared in U.S. District Court in Bay City yesterday, standing mute to the charge of threatening to kill the president. Findlay had previously been found guilty of threatening to kill President Obama in 2014. A list of Michigan companies halting business in Russia has grown. Here's business editor Murray Feldman.
Add to the list, Western Michigan-based Whirlpool. They say they'll sell their Russian businesses to an appliance company from Turkey. Shares of Whirlpool, though, down $2.81. Close to a dozen Michigan companies have now changed their business plans in Russia.
A large-scale operation involving counterfeit goods has been busted by Warren police. 6 people have been arrested, and police were looking for a 7th person after fake Gucci and Louis Vuitton merchandise, along with $100,000 in cash, were taken from homes in Warren and Sterling Heights, as well as from the County Line Trade Center flea market. Authorities say they aren't done with the investigation, and more charges will be filed. In Traverse City, Northwestern Michigan College has announced a tuition hike. The NMC Board of Trustees approved a 5% increase for the 22-23 academic year. The tuition increase amounts to $6 per hour for in-district students. When you see news happening, call the WSGW newsroom at 752-0790. It's 9:10. I'm Dave Maurer.
Here's your WSGW weatherology forecast. Showers and storms are possible in the area today, mainly before noon. Sunshine during the afternoon. Highs top out near 79 degrees. Winds turn to the north-northwest around 5 miles per hour. Tonight, mostly clear. Lows drop to 59. Winds turn to the southeast around 5 miles per hour. Thursday, an abundance of sunshine. Highs warm into the lower 90s. Winds south 5 to 15. Higher gusts possible. Thursday night, clear to partly cloudy. Lows fall back to 69. Then a chance for showers and storms developing on Friday. I'm Phil Jensko with the WSGW weatherology forecast.
Right now it's 62.
Now, the only local radio talk show offering you the chance to ask your questions and express your opinions. From around your block to around the world, The Art Lewis Show is on 100.5 and 790 WSGW and online. WSGW.com.
And a good morning to you. Welcome back to the Art Lewis Show here on a Wednesday here on WSGW. Nice to have you with us this morning. We'll have open phones this hour. We will start next hour by talking to Nancy Hernandez, who is a Gen Z marketer about beauty, health, and technology and all kinds of good stuff. And then we'll have more open phones. And at 11 o'clock on Focus this morning, we'll learn about activities going on in Bay City from the entertainment standpoint. Mike Bacigalupo will be joining us for that. State Theater and Winona Park and all that good stuff. But as I said, open phones this hour here on this Wednesday morning, 989-752-6111. Toll free, 866-790-WSGW. That'll put you in touch with us. And we love deferring the phone calls because that's the most fun I can have. Not knowing where you're coming from and just have a good conversation. It's what it's all about. It's conversation. It's not confrontation. It's conversation. And does confrontation happen? Yeah, sure. I mean, you talk about confrontation. I watched something that Pat Johnston made me aware of on ESPN2 called Unrivaled. It's their E60 show. And it was about the 90s and the rivalry between the Detroit Red Wings and the Colorado Avalanche and how nasty and brutal it was. Some of the serious injuries like Chris Draper and others, Claude Lemieux for the Avalanche and how nasty he was on the ice. But in the end, I mean, there's Claude Lemieux and Darren McCarty sitting side by side. Understand that back in the 90s, they were mortal enemies. McCarty was sort of the enforcer. And when someone did something against one of his teammates, at some point in time down the road, which is the way it worked in the NHL back then, somebody was going to get their comeuppance, and McCarty's going to give it to him. In this case, it was Lemieux. And it's an interesting story. It's a 2-hour show. And I mean, it was brutal. The hockey back then was absolutely brutal, and fighting was commonplace. not so much today. I mean, the game has become a lot more finesse oriented today. But wow, it was something to see back then. All right, we got some callers, so let's get with it. And we will begin with Al, who is in Midland. Al, good morning.
Well, good morning, sir. And what a pleasure it is to talk to you again this morning.
Thanks. Same here.
Hey, and yeah, and hockey, that is interesting. That is an interesting dichotomy of if you're going to compare it with various other confrontational things in daily life. That is kind of an interesting parallel to politics and various other things.
Yeah.
The other day, it was several days ago, I guess, you had mentioned something about polling and surveys and things like that, and other people have said they've never been called.
Oh yeah,
I was called earlier this week. This is Wednesday, so I was called earlier this week. I won't tell you who called me. They spent about 12 minutes of a survey on a phone. It was all.
So you talked to them?
Yeah, they had a question, and I would push a button
to
make the answer for the response.
Right.
I won't tell you the organization.
That's all right.
That it was a big national organization. They do a lot of polls. I spent about 12 minutes on the poll, so it was very.
Let me ask you this, Al.
Yeah.
Was the poll neutral? Was it fair?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's good.
The way the questions were phrased, I had a little issue with one question they asked, but you can only give them a yes or no answer.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the questions was that I felt kind of strange about was, is the country going in the right direction?
Oh yeah, that's a common question anymore.
Yeah.
Well, all those polls.
At the time where it was asked, it was after the decision was made by the Supreme Court. So you don't know whether they're going with the Supreme Court or if they're asking about the economy, the way the country is going.
That question, if you went back and researched, I don't know who this was, but it doesn't matter.
Right.
If you went back and researched their polls, you will find that question in almost every poll. So it's not oriented toward a recent event.
Right.
It's a generic question, and it's designed to see if there's a trend. For example, I mean, it's a fair question. Does the decision of the Supreme Court change how people view the direction of the country? It's a fair question.
Right. But when people are thinking about that, they're thinking about other things in their daily life. Is the economy going in the right direction?
Yeah, I got that right.
So it's kind of one of those questions that it has more than one answer depending on what direction you're thinking.
Well, it actually has no right answer because it's an opinion. So it's your opinion, which can't be wrong. It's just your opinion. So there's no right or wrong answers. It's more to set a trend line.
Yeah, I just thought it was a very interesting poll and they call me quite often. I get called. I used to do the radio surveys, and once in a while they Nielsen or Arbitron.
Can't talk about that on the air.
They want me to. They want me to do stuff.
Can't talk about that on the air.
Right, I understand that, but I'm just letting you know those two have.
Yeah,
they haven't done it recently.
What happens is once you respond and you get on the list, you're going to get called. I don't take any. No. If they're live people, I tell them, sorry, I'm a member of the media. I don't take polls, and I hang up. If they're recorded, I just hang up. I don't take them.
Yeah.
But
I don't mind. I don't mind doing them.
Yeah.
It's an interesting thing for me to do, and it's a way for me to have a voice that I feel is important.
Sure.
So I don't mind spending 12 or 15 minutes answering some of their questions.
All right. Good enough.
And, I just thought I'd let you know and the other listeners know that there are people that do answer surveys.
Oh yeah, of course. That's why they do them. If they weren't getting any answers, they wouldn't do them.
And I do it quite often. They contact me probably 4 or 5 times a year.
All right, Al.
So
good to talk to you. Thanks. Bye now.
Good morning.
Yep,
Bye
you
now.
too. And let's talk to Bill in Cass City before we take a break. Bill, good morning.
Good morning, Art.
Morning.
One quick thing. When you talk about hockey, I had the pleasure a number of years ago of meeting Gordie Howell.
Oh, yeah.
He went from the Civic Center to the parking ramp, and there was some ice. Now, Mr. Howell had, and we all had several beers, let's say, and he slipped on the ice and went down. And as he jumped up, he said, "Anybody reports this," he said, "I'll bust your head." Just funnier than a hoot. I mean, funnier than.
I had the pleasure of meeting him probably, I want to say 4 times. Did a couple of remotes that he happened to be at. And the funny thing was, the last time I met him was in a restaurant down in the Detroit area. He was sitting at a table with some other folks. I did not see him first. He actually saw me first, and he remembered me. And I went, wow. I mean, he was in probably his 80s by then. And it just absolutely amazed me. But he's quite a guy to talk to.
Oh, it was just a hoot. I mean, he was like Yogi Berra. I mean, you never knew what was coming out of his mouth.
That's right.
It was funny.
Yeah.
But the reason I called today, and I have a problem today, how is it that we have a lot of people in a certain capital of the United States that really haven't got a clue? When I heard we have given stimulus checks to convicted, and I'm talking max and supermax, I'm talking the bad people, giving these people checks. Like,
right.
Really,
so let me ask a question.
Help.
Let me ask a question.
Okay.
Is this information you heard in the commercial? Because I know exactly the commercial you're talking about.
Well, actually, no. I was in a political office just recently because I had a problem and I needed somebody to work on it, and I actually heard it there. Now, I don't know that, and these people were of the ruling class today. In other words, of the Democratic Party, and I could not believe that if this is a lie.
Well, I don't know.
Say that in public, you know.
I don't know. I would not be surprised.
Right.
I would not be surprised if some checks went to inmates. Wouldn't be surprised at all. I mean, because they were just willy-nilly handing out money. I mean, you know, if you met the financial criteria, I don't know that there was a clause that excluded anybody else.
Well, it just seems like we have enough people, and you probably know some, I know some out here that needed help. I understand that, but darn it. I mean,
yeah, I know. I understand. I know exactly what you're talking about.
And it amazed me how you had so many stupid people in one spot in their life. Like, are you serious? And they didn't even bat an eye when I brought this up. And I was in there for a problem, and they just, yeah, okay, that's just the way it's done. Like,
yeah,
really?
Yeah. All right. I got it, Bill. We'll chew on it. Thanks for calling. Take care.
Right, thank you.
Bye-bye now.
Bye-bye.
All right. It's coming up on, 9:23, and we will take a break and then be back with more lines open for you on the Art Lewis Show.
I'm retired Army Colonel Martin Blank, and I'm a Republican running for the state Senate. I'm not a politician. I'm a soldier. And I'm running for the state Senate because Lansing career politicians are failing our families. Average families can't afford groceries. Gas is heading towards $6 a gallon, and many of our neighbors are struggling to pay their mortgages or rent. The economy no longer works for people like us, and Lansing career politicians are doing nothing about it. It's time for a change, to go in a new direction. We've had enough of Lansing career politicians and their broken promises. It's time to put state government back on your side. I'm proud of my military service, the 23 years I spent serving you and protecting your interests. And as your state senator, I'll protect your interests once again. This is Martin Blank, Republican candidate for state Senate. I ask for your vote on August 2nd. Thanks for listening.
Paid for by Martin Blank for state Senate.
What's the most important part of a retirement plan?
Income is king because we only need income. And if you don't have an income plan, you don't have a retirement plan.
That's Kevin Ray, financial coach at Insight Folios. Kevin tells his listeners every week about the importance of income planning, minimizing taxes, and strategies to lead a worry-free retirement. Learn all about that and get your own complimentary financial review by calling 888-885-PLAN. That's 888-885-7526.
Here at Total Wine & More, you'll love what you find, especially our totally low prices.
That rosé you recommended was a hit. What should we try for more fun in the sun this weekend?
This silver tequila makes a refreshing tequila sunrise.
Perfect. Wow, that price is refreshing too.
love what you find. Only at Total Wine and More. Pickup and delivery available at TotalWine.com. Drink responsibly, B21.
I'm Elizabeth McDonald, and this is the Fox Business Report.
Our economy contracted more than expected in the first quarter. According to the final revision, the GDP was
1.6%. Okay, the estimate was for 1.5%. Within this report, what they are saying is that the biggest problem was the trade deficit.
Fox's Cheryl Casoni. Dow futures turned lower on that news, and Delta making a move as it braces for holiday travel numbers not seen since before the pandemic, announcing an unusual waiver giving customers the chance to change flights for free ahead of possible operational challenges. It would give flyers a chance to change tickets for travel July 1st to 4th and avoid paying a fare difference if they keep the same origin and destination and take a new trip by July 8th. The offer applies to all ticket classes, including the no-frills basic economy. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Lilian Wu, invested in you.
Big news. Greta Van Susteren is back. And she's on Newsmax. Tune into Newsmax at 6 p.m. Eastern tonight to watch The Record with Greta Van Susteren and get the real news. Plus, check out the new lineup of Rob Schmidt, Eric Bowling, and more. Newsmax is on all major cable and streaming platforms. If your cable system doesn't carry Newsmax, call them and demand it. And download the free Newsmax app on your phone. Make the switch to Newsmax today.
Struggling with CPAP? Now there's Inspire, the only FDA-approved obstructive sleep apnea treatment that works inside the body to treat the root cause of sleep apnea with just the click of a button. No mask, no hose, just sleep. Visit InspireSleep.com to learn more.
The IRS doesn't mess around. If they want your money, they'll take it. They can take your paycheck and bank accounts too, even threaten your home or business. Don't take on the IRS alone. If you owe back taxes, the smartest thing you can do is call Optima Tax Relief. The experts at Optima specialize in a powerful IRS tax assistance program called the Fresh Start Initiative. And their clients that qualify are saving thousands. One call starts the process to stop the demand letters, stop aggressive collection actions, and stop the IRS from targeting you. But don't delay. It's important to act now while you still have options. Optima is A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau. Optima has already resolved over $1 billion of tax debt for their clients. Get your life back. For tax help you need, for tax help you can trust, call Optima now for your free consultation.
Call 800-364-9188. 800-364-9188. 800-364-9188.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
2-1 to Miguel. Ground ball. Base hit down the right field line. Robbie Grossman scores. Who do you want to get that runner home from third with 2 outs?
The Tigers play 3:25 today on 790 News Radio WSGW.
We're back here on WSGW, and let's get back to our phones. Paul is in Saginaw. Paul, good morning.
Morning, Art. Art, your station was running a commercial recently about the bill in Congress about they want to tax local radio stations about playing music.
Oh, yeah.
What is that issue all about? I don't know nothing about it.
It's another attempt to tax the entertainment industry. It's just another way to get taxes, that's all. And the NAB, National Association of Broadcasters, puts out those kinds of announcements, along with state broadcasting associations, to get people, hopefully, to call their congressman and say, no, no, no. It had nothing to do with what we do. Talk radio is different, but they're trying to get the music stations, for example. And it always amused me that the record industry wanted to figure out how to capitalize monetarily on broadcasters, and the government wanted to figure out how to capitalize monetarily on broadcasters over and above ordinary business tax that you pay. At the same time, they're trying to get us to play their music for free so they can go sell it and make money. And it was always a conflict. I can never understand how those two met in the middle. They don't. So it's just, it's just another attempt to get taxes from somebody.
Huh. It's all over about playing music?
It's more music. It wouldn't affect, we don't play music, so we don't have those things to worry about other than bumps and things like that. But it's primarily to the music stations.
Wow.
But it's not new either. I mean, it's been going on a long time. They've tried before. Every now and then somebody comes along and wants to, tax you for something. The way of the world.
Has this recently been a push from the Biden administration, or is this?
No, it's been around a long time. It's been around a long time. This is just the recent. This is the newest alliteration of it. Let's put it that way.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Alrighty.
Good
Thank
enough.
you much.
Thanks. Bye now.
Okay.
And we say hello to Scott in Saginaw. Morning, Scott.
Morning. Hey, I'm sorry for calling again, but I just couldn't pass this story up. I don't know if you watched the 11th hour hearing yesterday.
Yeah, I did part of it.
Well, they actually, for the people who may not know, they actually want us to believe that Donald Trump, the frail little man who could barely get that glass of water up to his pursed little mouth with both hands. Remember him playing that story? Now they want us to believe that this man was so irate that he jumped over the back seat of the limo, forcefully grabbed a hold of the limousine wheel, and then the Secret Service agent grabbed his arm and said, "Sir, let go of the wheel." And Donald Trump grabbed that man with his other free hand in the neck.
Yeah, well,
I don't know what happened after that.
Well, here's the thing about it. This is the way I viewed it after I saw it, because I watched that particular part of it. That happened to be the part I turned on. First of all, she didn't see it. She was reporting hearsay that she was told by somebody else. In the meantime, two Secret Service agents, one of them the lead, who were in the vehicle, said that never happened. And I can't picture how it even could happen, to tell you the truth. I don't care whether it's Donald Trump or Hulk Hogan. Nobody, it doesn't happen. And it just that one was so far fetched that it destroys credibility, whatever the credibility was, if any. But listen, we have to understand that these hearings, in my view, are show hearings, because, for example, in any other hearing of any other type, other than the political hearing that we're seeing now, where's the defense? If you're in court, you got a right to defend yourself. Why don't they offer up defense on this committee hearing? They don't. No one who has anything to say in support of the former president has appeared. No one, and never will.
Well, no, it's a sham. That's why.
Exactly.
Hearing. This is just
it's I call it show politics. Listen, here's the purpose. I will tell you the purpose, in my opinion. The purpose is to try and set the tone so Donald Trump can never run for office again, because I think one of the things the Democrats fear more than anything is that he would run again and be elected. And I can't tell you whether that would happen or not. I don't know, because I sense that there is some dissension within the Republican Party when it comes to Donald Trump. It's not uniform anymore. And so I don't know that he's electable. Let's put it that way. Maybe he is, maybe he isn't. But the Democrats fear that, and particularly knowing what's going to happen in the midterms.
Well, what this reminds me of is when they went after Kavanaugh, they had one woman come out and say sometime, someplace during the 80s, something happened.
Yeah, right.
And when that didn't fly, another woman came forward and said, not only did something happen, I seen him rape hundreds of women because we watched him give out red cup.
And then credibility goes down the drain.
But that's who these guys are, Art. That's what I'm saying.
Well,
these people, they're drowning and they're going to do anything. And again,
that's politics.
No, it's not politics. Art.
No, it is politics.
Sick.
No, it's politics. It may be sick politics. Well, you got to be careful what you say, because, you asked me about a long time ago, you asked me point out some Republicans that do some of these things.
Yes.
What side of the aisle was the Ku Klux Klan on?
On the left.
No.
Yes, they were. They were Democrats. They were not Republicans. Oh, all through history up till probably about the 60s or so. Then they switched over to the Republicans because the Democrats came up with a good lie.
Well, the
And
Democrats
the
changed too. I
Democrats,
mean,
the
you know,
Republicans-
everybody says the Democrats of the 60s, like John F. Kennedy, were conservatives for the day. But just
Yeah,
remember
I'm
that,
saying-
you know, just be careful how you phrase it. That's all I'm saying.
But and what I'm saying, look in recent history, just in the last 8 years, you show me where the Republicans have done what these guys have done. And we know what they did in 2016. We see what they did in 2020. We see what they're doing today, that they lie,
All right, we got it.
They lie.
All right.
All right. I
Good
hope
enough.
you do get it. All right, I'll talk to you.
Thanks. Bye-bye now. All right, we're going to take a break. Come back. We'll get to Judy in Saginaw Township. Don't hang up, Judy. Stay with us. We'll be along right after these notes.
As golfers, we want more distance, more accuracy, more birdies, pars, and one putts. What if I told you that you can get all of that and more for less during your next golf getaway? Now with 90 holes of golf at one resort, Shanty Creek Resort is bigger and better. Discover a new golf mecca in Bel Air with all the more you need. Variety, quality, and quantity with customizable stay and play packages accommodating every group and budget. When you're ready for more, we'll be here to welcome you at Shanty Creek Resort in Bel Air and online at shantycreek.com.
Brunches, chef specials, date nights, happy hours. Moments like these are made possible by the COVID-19 vaccine.
My taste buds have missed this.
So let's savor this moment. Keep the dining out going. Keep the togetherness going by keeping your COVID-19 vaccines up to date. Find your vaccine at michigan.gov/COVID vaccine. Sponsored by the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services and the Michigan Association of Broadcasters.
The YMCA is just a starting line, for the true self blooms only when we find our purpose, what makes us tick below the surface. My why is diversity and unity, a safe space in my community, living with sincerity, giving every day my everything. With my why, I stand strong, seen and supported all along. It's a million faces in a mirror and everyone belongs. Find your why. Learn more at ymca.org for a better us.
What's for dinner? Burgers?
After last week, no thanks.
Avoiding foods due to fear of diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose, oily stools? It may not be just stomach issues. It could be EPI, or exocrine pancreatic insufficiency. EPI can cause uncomfortable symptoms because it's a condition where the pancreas doesn't release enough digestive enzymes to break down food. But EPI can be managed. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and talk to your doctor about your symptoms. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
RocketGrabPlus.com. Summer is officially here. The perfect time to save some money. And why pay full price when you know you can save money at RocketGrabPlus.com? Check out all of our deals going on right now from Applied Training Solutions, Style Encore, One Up Games and Repairs, Daylight Outfitters, 120 Fitness, and more. Half off? Yeah, it's true. And it's all at RocketGrabPlus.com.
RocketGrabPlus.com. When state bureaucrats threaten doctors over their COVID treatments, Representative Annette Glenn backed the bureaucrats down. Dr. John Fenninger said Annette Glenn's actions, quote, may have saved many lives. Paid for by Annette Glenn for State Senate.
On the next Markley Van Camp and Robin show, the January 6th committee says Trump tried to commandeer the USS Enterprise. He also gave Captain Kirk a swirly.
Markley, Van Camp, and Robbins. Weekdays at noon on 100.5 and 790. News Radio WSGW. This is the premier kitchen and bath gallery showroom and design center studios of WSGW.
We're back with you here on WSGW, and we'll go back to our phones now. This is Judy in Saginaw Township. Judy, thanks for waiting. Good morning.
Good morning, Art. It's very good to speak with you.
Thank you.
I'm calling in regards to Sherwood Pool, located at Sherwood School on Mackinac and Shattuck.
Okay.
Okay. Over 20 years, more than that, hundreds of men and women have gone there for swim exercise, which stabilizes your body. Under the water, it's amazing how much muscle structure you can do and keep your spine upright, etc. Last February, the dehumidifier, it does not work anymore. And while it was malfunctioning, it did not take out enough humidity. And so we are left with a good pool, but the walls need to be removed and new put in because of mold, etc. So we are in the process of fundraising and asking anyone out there who can donate, businesses, individuals, whomever, who have benefited from this pool, especially those of us who have arthritis. It's amazing what I can do inside the pool, but if I did it on land, I wouldn't be able to walk.
I understand that. I understand what good exercise it is. Let me ask. Let me ask a couple of questions. What's the school board's position on this?
Their position is they're willing to rebuild the structure, or what needs to be taken out and put back in, but they are not in the position to pay for it.
Okay.
So we have been asked to do that, to go out and find folks who are willing to give us support to the tune of $1.5 million.
Oh, a little one, yes. Small campaign.
Yes, yes. And those of us who go there find it so necessary for us. You can get to the pool very quickly. No long walk in the winter or anything.
Right.
And the pool is right by the door. It's accessible, and it's just really great.
How can people donate? Where do they go? What do they do?
Okay. Well, you can go to saginaw.revtrak.net to donate.
Say that again.
Or if they, Saginaw, SAG.REVTRAK.net.
Okay.
Or Mr. Steve Elliott, who is pretty much overseeing this and would be glad to talk with anyone. They can call him directly at 989-399-8029.
All right, let me get something here because I know somebody will call up and ask me about it. So I better write it down because my mind is forgetful.
Well,
to say
I'm
the
older
least.
than you are.
All right, so the website is sag.revtrak.com. Is that right?
Net.
.net. .net. All right.
Mm-hmm.
sag.revtrak.net. The gentleman's name is Steve, and
I have a separate phone number for him. Mr. Steve Elliott, ELLIOT.
Yep.
989-399-8029.
Okay.
All right.
Yep. Very good.
So, yes, we love Sherwood and the pool. Oh, another thing. I know there's other pools out there, but they do not maintain the temperature that we need for our arthritis.
What kind of time frame are you looking at?
I think they're going to make sure that money starts coming in before they start doing anything. So as soon as we can see some money coming, then they will start the process.
Have you contacted any of the foundations?
Some other folks are trying to do that.
All right. That's good.
That's a good
You want to do that.
suggestion.
You want to do that.
Yes. Yes.
All right. Well, good luck
I know
with
there's
it.
a lot out there.
Yeah.
So
Why
I
don't
pray
you
that let's-
put down on your calendar, maybe, a couple of months from now after the campaign's underway, give me a call back and let's see how you're doing.
I'll be glad to.
Great.
Very glad to. Yes. And please call Steve Elliott. I'm sure he would love to come on your program and talk about it too. So
we might see if we can find time to do that. Thanks.
that would be great. Thank you very much, Art.
You're welcome, Judy. Take care. Bye-bye now.
God bless your day. Bye-bye.
Thank you, dear. Bye-bye. All right. Well, there you go. Listen, the water aquatics exercise has long been known to be beneficial to the skeletal structure. And it's something that, I would think, I guess I don't know the financial situation of the school system in Saginaw Township and the insurance situation and everything else. But I would have to think that since that pool is in a school building, that they would want to get the walls fixed. I wouldn't think you'd want the mold to last very long in a building like that. But again, takes money. So there you go. All right, we're going to take a pause here. Lines are open for you. Whatever you'd like to chat about, give us a call, 989-752-6111, toll free. Nope, no toll free. You don't need it anymore. Just give us the call on the main number. There you go.
I always wanted to learn Spanish, but I never thought I'd have the time. Then I discovered Babbel.
Babbel's lessons are fun. They only take like 10 or 15 minutes, and in 3 weeks, presto, you're speaking another language. Like magic.
I love that Babbel's lessons aren't just robots talking. They're voiced by native speakers, so you get the pronunciation just right. And they're designed by real language teachers, so you learn how to have real-world conversations, things you'll actually use.
3 weeks. It's incredible. After 3 weeks, I'm on vacation in Paris, having a conversation in French.
There's all kinds of ways to learn. Use Babbel's podcasts or games or videos. You can even join live classes with a language teacher.
If you want to learn a language, there's no faster, easier, better way than
Babbel.
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 Babbel. Évidemment.
Go to Babbel.com to try for free. That's Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
Looking for a tasty meal with drinks and fun? Come to Knoll View Golf Course. We are open to the public with the best outdoor patio bar on the Sunrise side. Enjoy happy hour at the Final Pour Gazebo Bar on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Sunday from 2 to 5. Enjoy steak, salmon, chicken, or shrimp on the grill, as well as outdoor music Fridays and Saturdays. Bikers welcome. Delicious lunch menu. You don't have to be a golfer to have fun at Knoll View Golf Course. Check us out on 23 in All Gray or online at KnollViewGolf.com. See you this summer.
RocketGrabPlus.com.
This week's deal on RocketGrabPlus.com is for Salon Blue. You are going to get a shampoo, cut, and a deep condition for only $40. You must book an appointment with this deal. Walk-ins are not available. All of the service providers at Salon Blue are fully licensed through the state of Michigan. Call 989-772-8898 or visit salonblue.com. Head to RocketGrabPlus.com right now to snag your deal.
RocketGrabPlus.com.
At the United States Postal Service, we deliver packages fast and affordably so you can give your customers what they want when they need it. We're delivering for one-stop shops, mom and pops, pop-ups, startups, retail, wholesale, large scale, small biz, big box, customers, customizers. So no matter what business you're in, we'll always be delivering for you. USPS, delivering for America. Learn more at USPS.com/delivering.
You have the chance to win a WSGW and Edible Arrangements of Saginaw red, white, and blueberry platter. To enter your name in the weekly random drawing, head to WSGW.com, scroll down the homepage, and find the WSGW and Edible Arrangements red, white, and blueberry contest box. Click and enter your name. Each Friday in June, we'll give away a prize. A red, white, and blueberry platter for you from Edible Arrangements on Tittabawassee Road in Saginaw and WSGW.
Trying to find when and where you can hear the Tigers, Red Wings, Michigan football and basketball, Saginaw Spirit hockey, and SVSU football on WSGW? Just click on the sports broadcast box on WSGW.com for complete game time listings. That's WSGW.com.
Welcome back. The Art Lewis Show. On this Wednesday morning, we had a caller off air wanted to revisit the limousine situation with the president that was reported yesterday by the Hutchison woman at the hearing, how he supposedly leaped over the back to try and grab the steering wheel and all that. And the caller suggested, well, maybe it wasn't the presidential limousine, maybe he was doing one of those Escalades or what have you. Either way, I'm not buying it for two reasons. First of all, she didn't see it. It was hearsay. Somebody told her that it happened. And secondly, two Secret Service agents that were there said it didn't happen. So I'm going to go with them. What happens in the political world today, and I find this really disturbing on both sides, thank you. What happens in the political world today is exaggeration becomes the norm. Okay, you don't like the former president, so let's make things up about him because people that don't like it are all going to believe it. You don't like a particular congressman from either side. Okay, let's make things up about him. No, but everybody will believe it, And you should also note that the liability and slander laws are such, and it was recently reaffirmed by courts, that public figures running for office in particular have a much higher bar to prove malice than you and I. If you were to say something slanderous about me or write something libelous about me, I would have a bit of a harder road to climb than you as a private citizen would, because I'm in one way or another a public figure, if you will. It's even harder for political figures to fight slander and libel. And by the way, if you don't know the meanings of those terms, libel is the printed word, slander is the spoken word. So if I say you're a so-and-so and do it on purpose and it's a lie, I'm slandering you. If I write it in a publication or some other way, then I'm libeling you. And it is a very, very high bar for political figures to climb to be able to fight those accusations, which is why in politics today we have all of these exaggerated claims, about this guy did this and this guy did that, when in fact, one member of a House of Representatives, 435 strong, does not singularly make or break law. They don't singularly write and pass law. Takes a whole bunch of people. But if you watch the commercials, it's so-and-so did this. He will do this. She will do this. Or she won't do this, which is nonsense. They're one of a bunch. Now, if you're talking about voting for the president of the United States, that's another story, because the president of the United States can do things by executive power, by introducing or pushing for legislation. So that's a different story. But even there, exaggeration, of course, is forefront. And the reason negative politics continue today is very simple. It works. Hear me now. It works. In other words, somebody is responding to that negativity. In the same way, you may ask yourself why politicians do robocalls, particularly if you're like me. You pick up the phone, you hear what it is, you hang up right away. What are they gaining? Well, I talked to someone who was involved in politics for a long, long time and asked them that very question. Why are you doing those annoying robocalls? And the answer was simple. It's the cheapest way to advertise, and the return on investment is about 2%. Well, what does that mean? Well, that means if you do 100,000 robocalls, 2,000 people are likely to respond and vote the way you want them to vote. Well, that's why they do it. They do it for those 2,000, not the 98,000. They know that most people are not going to respond. But all you need is enough on the bottom end to respond, and your return on investment is solid. And that is why negative advertising in the political world continues to this day, because somebody is responding. They get the desired result. And because of the liability and slander laws the way they are, it's very difficult for a political candidate to come back on the accuser. They can pretty much say what they want and get away with it. There are exceptions, but for the most part, the overwhelming majority of the time, a political candidate really has very little recourse other than to create their own advertising against their opponent, which is pretty much where we're at today. And without getting into which candidates, there's a group of ads running now. On the one side, all they do is talk negative about their opponent. On the other side, all the opponent is doing is talking about the things that opponent has done while in Congress. I don't care what your politics are. Personally, I respond to the person who tells me what they've done and what they'd like to do, and not spend all their time talking about the opposition. All right, take the last break here, and then we'll be back to close out this hour.
Welcome to retirement. Now, replace your paycheck. To local financial coach Kevin Ray, this is what retirement planning is all about.
Building monthly paychecks. And how you build those monthly paychecks is going to determine how well in retirement you're going to enjoy it. So sit down and build a good framework, and it starts with income.
So build your framework with Kevin and the team at Insight Folios today by calling 888-885-PLAN. That's 888-885-7526.
There's a price war in the insurance business, and you may be paying too much. Call the Term Lifeline right now and see if you can save 40%. $500,000 plans and up, that's our specialty. Even great smokers' rates. Protect your family today. Call the Term Lifeline right now for a free quote. 866-549-TERM. 866-549-TERM. 866-549-TERM.
Do you know what people see when they Google you? Search engines don't always get it right. And when they're wrong, it's your reputation on the line. So what do you do when you don't agree with your search results? Call Reputation Defender at 800-401-6681. Reputation Defender is one of the most trusted names in online reputation repair. We have over a decade of experience in fixing people's search results, and we can help you too. Using cutting-edge approaches, Reputation Defender pushes unflattering information down to lower pages of your search results, where few people ever look. We also promote the good stuff so that it rises to the top, letting you put your best foot forward. Your good name is too valuable to leave to the whims of a Google algorithm. You owe it to yourself to take control with Reputation Defender. Visit www.reputationdefender.com or call 800-401-6681 for free advice on your situation. That's 800-401-6681.
RocketGrabPlus.com. This week's deal on RocketGrabPlus.com is for Salon Blue. You are going to get a shampoo, cut, and a deep condition for only $40. You must book an appointment with this deal. Walk-ins are not available. All of the service providers at Salon Blue are fully licensed through the state of Michigan. Call 989-772-8898 or visit salonblue.com. Head to RocketGrabPlus.com right now to snag your deal.
RocketGrabPlus.com. Has this ever happened to you? Your significant other says, we've got to redo the kitchen, and you break out into a cold sweat?
Well, don't worry. It's a common condition, something we call needless remodeling anxiety, and we've got the cure. Heck, we are the cure. Hi, I'm Tom Kreitler.
And I'm Leslie Segretti. Whether you do it yourself or direct it yourself, we can help you keep your project on track and on budget.
So join us this weekend for the Money Pit Home Improvement Radio Show.
The Money Pit, Saturday mornings at 9 on WSGW.
All right, that's going to do it for this hour of the Art Lewis Show. We will be back with more after the news, talking to Nancy Hernandez, Jen Zier, and going to talk about a number of things with her to start out, and then we'll have more open phones. Before that, though, we have news from CBS, the National International Report, the local report with Ann Williams in the WSGW newsroom. And then we will be back right after the news. Talk to you then.
From the Premier Kitchen and Bath Gallery Studios, WSGW, Saginaw, Bay City, Midland, WSGW-FM, Carlton.
This is CBS News on the Hour, presented by Indeed.com.
I'm Deborah Rodriguez. Political analysts have gone over Cassidy Hutchinson's testimony with a fine-tooth comb after former White House Chief of Staff Mark Meadows' aide testified about Donald Trump's actions on January 6th.
The president said something to the effect of, I'm the effing president. Take me up to the Capitol now.
But will her testimony make a difference? Correspondent Jeff Pegues is in Washington.
You'd have to get other people on the stand to testify to seeing similar things to get those kinds of allegations to really hold up in a court of law. However, in the court of public opinion, she was pretty effective.
The former president calls Hutchinson a phony, says her testimony was made up. President Biden and other NATO leaders welcomed Sweden and Finland into their military alliance today. Correspondent Nancy Cordes is in Madrid, where Mr. Biden has announced more U.S. deployments to 7 European countries.
Russia's attempts to rattle the West have instead led to a larger Western alliance, surging troops to the Russian border.
House Speaker Nancy Pelosi was at the Vatican today, where she received communion during a papal mass at St. Peter's Basilica, despite her pro-abortion stance. Witnesses say she met with Pope Francis beforehand and got his blessing. Pelosi is no longer allowed to receive the sacrament at her home diocese in San Francisco. Abortion was top of mind for voters in the first primary elections since the Supreme Court overturned Roe v. Wade. New York Democrat Louise Vitiello.
My generation got this going, and it's going backwards.
Democratic incumbent Kathy Hochul won her party's nomination for governor. Republicans chose Congressman Lee Zeldin, who opposes abortion rights. The Biden administration is stepping up efforts to stop the spread of monkeypox in the U.S., releasing 56,000 doses of vaccine from the national stockpile. CBS's Dr. David Agus.
In New York City, there have been people lining up to get the vaccine, and there's lack of a supply. At the present time, we certainly need leadership to get the vaccines that we have in the United States to the right places so that people who are at high risk can be prevented from monkeypox and also be prevented from spreading and continuing to spread this virus across the country.
There have been 306 reported cases of monkeypox in the U.S. since the outbreak began this year, but no deaths. New report from the California Attorney General finds hate crimes jumped 30% from 2020 to 2021. KPIX TV's Betty Yu has the breakdown.
Anti-Black hate crimes are still the most prevalent. They were up 13% to 513 incidents. Anti-Asian hate crimes rose 178% to 247.
And this is CBS News.
Find great hires fast with Indeed. Their end-to-end hiring solution makes it easy to attract, interview, and hire candidates all in the same place. Visit Indeed.com/credit.
This is what camping sounds like when you have sleep apnea and struggle with CPAP. And this is what camping sounds like when you have Inspire and don't need a CPAP. If you have sleep apnea and struggle with CPAP, Inspire could work for you. Inspire works inside the body and keeps you breathing normally and sleeping peacefully. No mask, no hose, just sleep. To learn more, visit inspiresleep.com.
Inspire is not for everyone. Talk to your doctor to see if it's right for you and review important safety information at inspiresleep.com.
Looking good, Mrs. Dubs.
The head groundskeeper at Thad's Golf Course just retired.
We need to find someone in the next 2 weeks. Someone with botany and management experience.
He needs a replacement because the greens are already looking a little rough.
Water and aeration. They need to know it all.
Indeed can help him hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. You can schedule and conduct virtual interviews all from your employer dashboard. Earn up to $500 in sponsored job credits by interviewing on Indeed. Visit Indeed.com/credit. Terms and conditions apply.
.66 at 10:05. Good morning. I'm Ann Williams. Bay City State Park and Saginaw County's new Saginaw River Headwaters Recreation Area are among park projects in 10 counties receiving help from the American Rescue Plan Act. Bay City State Park will receive $1.5 million to refresh and renovate the interior and exterior of the Saginaw Bay Visitor Center. The new State County Park in Saginaw will get just over $867,000 to construct parking areas and a park entrance. The new state park is nearing completion on the former General Motors malleable iron site and nearby landfill on the Saginaw River. The park will be jointly managed by the DNR and Saginaw County. Midland's Little Forks Conservancy has been awarded the 2022 Clean Waterways Award from the Michigan Outdoors Writers Association. The Conservancy was recognized for its efforts to improve the overall health of the Cedar River watershed in Gladwin and Clare counties and land adjacent to the Tittabawassee River between Midland and Sanford. Little Forks has operated since 1996 and works to protect mid-Michigan land and waterways. WSTW News Time is coming up on 10:06.
The IRS doesn't mess around. If they want your money, they'll take it. They can take your paycheck and bank accounts too, even threaten your home or business. Don't take on the IRS alone. If you owe back taxes, the smartest thing you can do is call Optima Tax Relief. The experts at Optima specialize in a powerful IRS tax assistance program called the Fresh Start Initiative. And their clients that qualify are saving thousands. One call starts the process to stop the demand letters, stop aggressive collection actions, and stop the IRS from targeting you. But don't delay. It's important to act now while you still have options. Optima is A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau. Optima has already resolved over $1 billion of tax debt for their clients. Get your life back. For tax help you need, for tax help you can trust, call Optima now for your free consultation.
Call 800-364-9188. 800-364-9188. 800-364-9188.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
WSTW News Time is 10:06. As we head into the second half of the year, it appears domestic car makers have better inventories than their import competition. Here's more from Jeff Gilbert at the Michigan News Network.
Everybody's inventories are tight, says Cox Automotive senior economist Charlie Chesborough, but Asian car makers are much tighter. Recently, the domestic car makers have had fewer production constraints, especially Stellantis and particularly their pickups.
But it does appear that Ram has more availability than many of their competitors, and so we may see that they're able to pick up some market share here over the summer.
Chesborough says it's the reverse of last year when domestic inventories were depleted and imports were fairly well stocked.
Jeff Gilbert, the Michigan News Network.
Carjackings in Detroit are on the rise, up 32% over the past month. That's according to a report from Police Chief James White before the Board of Police Commissioners. White says drag racing and drifting continue to be a serious problem.
It is dangerous. These are not professional drivers. They're putting our community at risk. They're putting themselves at risk. I got a number of calls from people talking about being hit or their vehicles ending up in their front yard, into their homes, and a number of other incidents that we've had throughout the city.
White says that on the plus side, overall crime is down about 14%. Alarming news regarding COVID-19 in the state. The numbers are heading in the wrong direction. Here's more from Dr. Deanna Lights at the Michigan News Network. We'll bring you her story in just a moment. Former Governor Rick Snyder and other state and county officials may not be off the hook when it comes to criminal charges related to the Flint water crisis. The Michigan Solicitor General is helping with the case and said late last night the cases are not over, despite an opinion from the state Supreme Court throwing out the charges against 9 people, including Snyder. Fadwa Hamoud says the opinion means charges should be filed at the district court level, and her team is ready to move forward. She says they believe the misconduct and other charges can and will be proven in court. Wayne County Prosecutor Kim Worthy says she will be reviewing other cases as a result of the ruling, which was focused on a one-person grand jury. Now here's Dr. Deanna Lights with the latest on COVID-19 in Michigan.
COVID-19 cases and hospitalizations have increased for the first time in more than a month. The state health department is reporting 14,353 cases over the past 6 days, an increase of more than 5,000 cases from the previous week. That's an average of about 2,050 cases per day. 174 deaths from COVID-19 also reported for the same time period.
That was Dr. Deanna Lights. When you see news happening, call the WSTW Newsroom, 752-0790. Coming up on 1010, I'm Ann Williams.
Here's your WSGW weatherology forecast. We'll see a few scattered showers and thunderstorms early today. Otherwise, skies will become mostly sunny with a high into the upper 70s. Winds out of the south at 5 to 10 miles per hour. And for tonight, partly cloudy sky conditions, a low near 60. Thursday, sunshine, a high around 90 degrees. Then by Friday, a chance for showers and thunderstorms. Cloudy skies, a high around 86. Saturday, mostly sunny, high of 86 degrees. Then by Sunday, plenty of blue skies and sun with a high of 84. Monday, a chance for rain showers, partial sunshine, high of 84 degrees. I'm meteorologist Jennifer Wojcicki with the WSGW Weatherology Forecast.
Currently, it's 66.
Now, the only local radio talk show offering you the chance to ask your questions and express your opinions from around your block to around the world. The Art Lewis Show is on 100.5 and 790 WSGW and online, WSGW.com.
And welcome back to hour number 2 of the Art Lewis Show here on WSGW. Nice to have you with us. Open phones later on this hour. Next hour, we'll talk to Mike Bacigalupo at the State Theater in Winona Park about great activities going on in Bay City this summer. But before we do that, we have a special guest this morning. We're going to talk about beauty, health, technology, and lots of good stuff. And we say good morning to Nancy Hernandez. Nancy, good morning to you.
Hello, Art. How are you?
I am fine. Before we get into some of the topic matter here, tell us a little bit about Nancy Hernandez. What's your background and what is it that you do?
Sure thing. Well, I am a Texas born and raised, but part of a beautiful Mexican family. I grew up around that big family and some of the best food in the world, if you've ever had Mexican cuisine. I was also surrounded by soccer, of which I am still a big fan. I'm a middle child, have 2 sisters, shout out to them. And professionally, I have a career in tech for a major energy company, but find myself now focusing also on other projects that are very near to my heart, including the start of a new company called The Glam Daily, which is a lifestyle brand. Which is much more related to beauty and tech, as you mentioned in your introduction. So that's a little bit about me.
So how is it related to, how does beauty and tech come together?
Yeah, I think that's an interesting question. So I think it starts because of what consumers are looking for. So if I look at myself as a consumer, most of the shopping that I do now and the products and brands that I look for, it's all online. I am not a big fan of going to the stores to looking for products, and I think a lot of the consumers now also look for a lot of products using e-commerce. And so, when we were thinking about this idea with my partner, we talked about how can we best bring the best products out there to a lot of the new consumers in order to reach wider audiences, and that's really through tech. And so it's the ability of being able to provide all of this in some sort of platform to reach people in a way that they feel comfortable shopping.
And just so we know, and so that I relate to it, your partner is Ethel?
Yes.
Yeah. Yes. We chatted with her yesterday. That's why I just want to make sure I had the right combination here.
Yes, Ethel Evans, great friend of mine as well.
So tell us about this website and what somebody finds when they go on it.
Yes. So we haven't yet launched our brand, but really what the Glam Daily is about is our mission is to be able to build a social community centered around authenticity. So right now, what you see in many of the social media platforms is probably a little bit of a lack of that. So you see brands that sponsor influencers and people to basically sponsor or to show their products, but they're not really users of it. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to build a community where there is more authentic connections between people and the brands that are making products. So what we're hoping to bring is a number of different mobile apps into the market that will build a way for brands to get feedback from people directly in order for them to be able to build better products. And so then buyers like ourselves can have access to things that actually matter to them much more versus the way that it happens now, where brands just put products out there, they hire someone to maybe showcase it, but it's really not based on authentic use.
So I understand you're building the technology side. Do you also have brands? Are you manufacturing product that you will sell also?
Not yet. So Ethel does have a beauty brand, a skincare company.
Right.
And but right now, what really we're trying to do is just build the technology to enable the connection between brands and buyers. So we don't have any products yet that are part of our brand. So we will need to work with brands in order to make sure we've got the right slate of products available.
Time frame for launch?
We're still working that. So I think that right now what we're trying to do is just make sure that we have our vision really solid and that we're making sure that we're going to bring to market the things that make sense the most. So I would say hold on tight, but later this year.
Let me ask off the subject a little bit. Are more and more women getting involved in technology?
I think so. Absolutely. When I started my career in tech, working in a big energy company, I often found myself as one of the few women in the room. And so I see now that there is a much bigger push for having much more diverse workforce. And that really starts with bringing some of those conversations to schools, to universities, and you see a lot more interest in pursuing careers in technology for women. But also, I think that a lot of the younger generation is very tech native. It's just part of the way everyone lives their lives now. So it is something much more natural that comes to people. And so you start to see much more of a balance coming through university and then making their way to the workforce. So it's looking much better than it was when I started.
Well, you were ahead of the curve. Why did you do it?
I've always just had a thing for science, math, engineering. That was like one of my favorite subjects. I think my parents were also big into math. I remember doing weird puzzles with them that was a lot of logic based. So yeah, I don't know. It was just something that I found really interesting. And then I got into a couple of school programs when I was in high school around technology. And then that just grew and grew and grew. And then now here we are.
Yeah. And I'm going to take you off subject for a minute. You said something earlier I have to ask about because it fascinates me. I've always had an interest in it. Describe for me the difference between traditional Mexican cuisine that you grew up on and Tex-Mex. You in Texas. Yes. Go ahead.
Oh, that's a good question. Okay. So I would say that what you find in Texas and Tex-Mex cuisine is different types of cheese. Different. It's like a different way of presenting dishes using different ingredients, but kind of the same core. But some of the main differences I see in Tex-Mex is like you use a lot of different types of cheese. You have much more use of flour tortillas versus corn, which is what we see more typically in Mexico. And so I would say it's a different spin on using a lot of the same ingredients, but just presenting it differently. Those are some of the main differences that I see. Authentic Mexican, you also have like different chilies that you tend to use more. Yeah, so that's main differences.
It seems to me in the times that I've been to Mexico and sat down in a traditional Mexican restaurant, the food I had, I enjoyed far more than I do in the Tex-Mex restaurant because I'm not a big spice fan, and I found that while I was concerned about it going in, once I sat down in a traditional Mexican restaurant, it wasn't nearly as spicy as what they put out up here. It was very good.
Oh yeah, it is. It's amazing, and it's so rich. Like there's so many different types of cuisines depending on where you are in Mexico. Northern Mexico has much more of that Texas influence, and vice versa.
Yeah.
You go further south, it's just completely different climate, different ingredients, and then if you're near the coast, obviously that makes a difference.
Absolutely. All right. Well, let's go back to what we started with. Tell us again, eventually, what your website is going to be.
Yeah. So as I mentioned earlier, really it's a website and an app where we want to be able to create a mechanism for brands to connect with consumers, to get more insights in order for brands to be able to create better products. So, you will be able to see different ways for brands that want to connect, whether it's through a forum or whether it's through doing surveys. And eventually, we may start getting into being able to provide products. So I would say initially what you will see first is a platform that will be a mechanism for brands to get insights from consumers.
And will this be genre specific? By that, I mean one type of product, or is it going to be a range of products?
Yeah. So we started the conversation around, my love for beauty and tech. And I think that that's an area that is very natural for me and Ethel. But I think we will not just hone in on that. Maybe that's an area where we start off. But eventually we will open it up to many more different types of areas, not just the beauty and wellness space.
Well, good luck to you down the road. Like when you finally get it up and running, like to hear how it's doing.
Sounds good. Thank you. I appreciate it.
All right. Very good. Nancy, thanks for being with us today. We appreciate it.
Thanks. Have a nice day.
You too. Bye-bye now. Nancy Hernandez, and she is, along with the guest we had yesterday, Ethel Emmons, starting up an app, and it not online yet, but we'll down the road we'll give you more info on it. All right, we're at that point of the hour where we're going to open up the phones again. Whatever you'd like to chat about, 989-752-6111, the number to call, and get in a good conversation with us. Let's get her going. We'll be back to do that in just a couple.
Do you know what people see when they Google you? Search engines don't always get it right. And when they're wrong, it's your reputation on the line. So what do you do when you don't agree with your search results? Call Reputation Defender at 800-401-6681. Reputation Defender is one of the most trusted names in online reputation repair. We have over a decade of experience in fixing people's search results, and we can help you too. Using cutting-edge approaches, Reputation Defender pushes unflattering information down to lower pages of your search results, where few people ever look. We also promote the good stuff so that it rises to the top, letting you put your best foot forward. Your good name is too valuable to leave to the whims of a Google algorithm. You owe it to yourself to take control with Reputation Defender. Visit www.reputationdefender.com or call 800-401-6681 for free advice on your situation. That's 800-401-6681.
RocketGrabPlus.com. Summer is officially here. The perfect time to save some money. And why pay full price when you know you can save money at RocketGrabPlus.com? Check out all of our deals going on right now, from Applied Training Solutions, Style Encore, One Up Games and Repairs, Daylight Outfitters, 120 Fitness, and more. Half off? Yeah, it's true. And it's all at RocketGrabPlus.com. RocketGrabPlus.com.
There's a price war in the insurance business, and you may be paying too much. Call the Term Lifeline right now and see if you can save 40%. $500,000 plans and up, that's our specialty. Even great smokers rates. Protect your family today. Call the Term Lifeline right now for a free quote. 866-549-TERM. 866-549-TERM. 866-549-TERM.
I'm Neil Cavuto, and this is the Fox Business Report.
The Commerce Department says the U.S. economy shrunk 1.6% in the first quarter, according to the final reading. Cruise lines among the sectors seeing shares sink this morning, including Carnival, which saw mayhem on one of its ships.
It was pulling in from an 8-day trip to the Caribbean. It was on the dance floor of the nightclub. They were pulling into New York Harbor on Tuesday morning, and authorities say 40 to 60 people were involved in an altercation that got out of hand. No weapons, no serious injuries.
Fox's Lauren Simonetti. The Coast Guard, though, had to escort the ship back to port. Crypto hedge fund Three Arrows Capital has plunged into liquidation as the value of the crypto tokens has been plummeting. And California plans to send millions of inflation relief payments of up to $1,050. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Lillian Wu, invested in you.
The economy is heading for a total disaster. The Fed must choose between a stock market and housing market crash or hyperinflation. Hi, this is Stephen K. Bannon. I urge you to diversify your retirement savings into physical gold today. To help you get started, my friends at Birch Gold have created a free information kit on gold IRAs. To get your free copy, just text SHELTER to 989898. There's no obligation or purchase required. Again, that's SHELTER to 989898.
When state bureaucrats threaten doctors over their COVID treatments, Representative Annette Glenn backed the bureaucrats down. Dr. John Fenninger said Annette Glenn's actions, quote, may have saved many lives. Paid for by Annette Glenn for State Senate.
Hello, Michigan. I'm John Gonzalez.
And I'm Amy Sherman. We've got big news.
We're back! And you can join us Sundays at 1 p.m. as we once again go behind the mitten.
We'll take you to every corner of the state, sharing the stories that make Michigan great.
Find a hidden gem or a new favorite spot that might be located right in your hometown.
We'll go above the bridge and taste our way across the state.
Join us Sundays at 1 p.m. right here on 100.5 and 790 News Radio, WSGW.
2-1 to Miguel. Ground ball. Face it down the right field line. Robbie Grossman scores. Who do you want to get that runner home from third with 2 outs?
The Tigers play 3:25 today on 790 News Radio WSGW.
All right, we're back with you here on the Art Lewis Show. Open phones for the remainder of the hour. You can give us a call, 989-752-6111. Couple of things. State Supreme Court yesterday threw out the indictments and charges against the former governor, Rick Snyder, and 7 others involved in the Flint water crisis, saying that the one-man judge did not have the authority to issue the indictments. This not only impacts this case, but of course, now prosecutors all over the state are having to examine whether or not they have a lot of one-man grand jury indictments that might be in jeopardy. Going to be interesting to see how this one works out. We've already heard from some of the other prosecutors, Kim Worthy down in the Detroit area and Solicitor General in the state, saying that they're going to try and figure out how to resubmit the charges. I think in order to do that, they'll probably have to go before a full grand jury and try and convince a full grand jury that these charges should stick. I have always thought that those involved, allegedly involved, were overcharged. What do I mean by that? Dereliction of duty, okay, maybe that's provable. Manslaughter, I'm not so sure about that. I think that carried it beyond the norm. And I often wondered whether or not any of that would ever stick. Now, it has nothing to do with this decision of the court because it throws out all the charges. But I often thought that it was a little much to go after these folks that way. But dereliction of duty, yeah, if you can prove it, fine. Listen. That's why we have those laws. That's why we have courts. That's why we have grand juries. What the Supreme Court of the state said is that you can't do it as a grand jury of one anymore. So where it goes from here, I don't know. But I am fairly certain we haven't heard the last of it. And that's been communicated by several prosecutors and state officials that they are going to try and have it reinstated one way or another, in some form or another. And it'll be interesting to see when they do that. It will be interesting to see if they take all of the charges back to the grand jury, or if they just focus on what they consider to be the most provable charges. For example, as I said, if you go to the grand jury and present evidence of dereliction of duty, well, you might be able to prove that case, depending on the individual's responsibility, how they reacted, what they did, what they didn't do. But do you bring back the manslaughter charges, for example, involuntary or otherwise? Well, maybe you choose not to do that. It might be a lot tougher to get through a grand jury. So maybe you choose to go after the ones that you know you can prove, at least you believe you can prove, and let the others rest. I don't know what's going to happen. I'm not a lawyer. I'm not a legal scholar. I'm only the son of a lawyer, whatever that's worth. But it is fascinating that the court ruled that way, because I believe anyway, and some of my legal friends out there can correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe that this kind of a ruling would throw into jeopardy other one-man grand jury indictments. That's the way it would seem to me anyway. If I were a defense attorney defending an individual who was indicted by a one-man grand jury, I might start looking for legal avenues to have those charges dismissed and dropped. So I believe that may happen. We may see some of that. But again, I'm speaking off the top of my head. I'm not a legal expert. I see it in the layman's view, if you will. And I'm sure some of my legal buddies out there would enjoy correcting me. Let's put it that way, as they have on many occasions. Many occasions. I have a lot of friends who are in the legal profession, and I have conversations with them about some of the legal things. So I try and understand it from the legal standpoint, because many times how we as lay people view something in a very simplistic way, the legal authorities view it entirely differently, because they're familiar with all of the language of the law, where we're not. We look at a superficial view and say, oh, I don't think so, or I do think so. So I try and talk to my legal friends about that. You know, what am I missing if I look at this superficially? Why am I not right that this law says this? And then they explain it to me, and I understand why we have lawyers, actually. And of course, you know, all the laws are written by lawyers in legalese to cover all their dot their I's and cross their T's, so to speak. And the devil is in the details when it comes to the law. I remember a number of years ago, I had to write a speech I was going to give to a group. This particular speech had to do with censorship. So I contacted a friend of mine who was a lawyer and said, can you take me to a law library and show me how to find case law relative to my topic? And he did. And at the time, this was before computers had all the law on it. You had to go to the first book, which was the general index. That led you to another index, led you to another index, led you to another index, and finally the case law. And in reviewing some of the case law, I really began to realize just how complex the law is, how complex the legal system is. You know, and how often has it been said, lawyers are people you love to hate until you need one. Then you're best friends. Because it takes a legal scholar, somebody who's studied the law, become a lawyer, to understand the verbiage and what it really says. It's really interesting. And it's funny, I am more interested in it in my older age than I was as a youngster, because my dad, who was a criminal tax lawyer and a special agent, he was a special agent Treasury, federal, tried in the worst way in the world to get me to follow in his footsteps. And I did not want anything to do with the legal profession and the law. As I've gotten older, I find it more interesting. And I've often asked myself, gee, if I knew at 16 what I know now at 79, would I have made the same decision? I can't tell you the answer. Anyway, we're going to take a break. Line's open for you. Whatever you'd like to chat about, give us a call.
Are you ready for retirement? Well, Jason and Carl Kreiderman with Great Lakes Investment Advisors have a new book that can help make retiring easier. In Empower Your Retirement, they talk about how a well-thought-out financial plan can make the difference between just surviving and thriving in retirement. Using everyday language, this book explores how a simple process can help you cover all the bases of your financial life, including how taxes can affect your retirement and much more. Your finances are too important to leave to chance. Empower Your Retirement is written to help you understand the must-dos to prepare for the retirement you desire. Get your free copy of Empower Your Retirement by calling 989-848-1188. That's 989-848-1188. And for more on retirement planning, tune into Jason and Carl's radio show, Your Financial Empower Hour, every Sunday morning at 8. Firm provides insurance services, investment advisory services offered by Great Lakes Investment Advisors, Inc., a registered investment advisor firm in the state of Michigan. Investing involves risk, including the potential loss of principal.
For over 20 years, you have known Sunrise Awnings as the home of the shady deal. Living in Michigan, we are always looking for ways to spend more time outdoors, especially now. Sunrise Awnings provides homeowners that opportunity to expand their living space with Sunsetter or Summer Space Awnings. Enjoy family and friends, protected from the sun, rain, and heat. Call Sunrise Awnings today to take advantage of that outdoor lifestyle you enjoy. Check us out at sunriseawnings.net. Get the most out of your patio and deck with a retractable awning from Sunrise Awnings.
I'm getting vaccinated with Prevnar 20.
So am I, because I'm at risk for pneumococcal pneumonia.
I'm asking about Prevnar 20 because there's a chance pneumococcal pneumonia could put me in the hospital.
Age 65 or older, you may be at increased risk for pneumococcal pneumonia. Ask your doctor or pharmacist about getting vaccinated with Prevnar 20, pneumococcal 20-valent conjugate vaccine, a Pfizer vaccine that can help protect against pneumococcal pneumonia in just one dose. Prevnar 20 is approved for adults to help prevent infections from 20 strains of the bacteria that cause pneumococcal pneumonia. Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you've had a severe allergic reaction to the vaccine or its ingredients. Adults with weakened immune systems may have a lower response to the vaccine. The most commonly reported side effect was pain at the injection site. For additional common side effects and full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138 or visit Prevnar20.com.
I want to be able to keep my plans.
So I'm asking my doctor about getting vaccinated with Prevnar 20.
RocketGrabPlus.com. This week's deal on RocketGrabPlus.com is for Salon Blue. You are going to get a shampoo, cut, and a deep condition for only $40. You must book an appointment with this deal. Walk-ins are not available. All of the service providers at Salon Blue are fully licensed through the state of Michigan. Call 989-772-8898 or visit SalonBlue.com. Head to RocketGrabPlus.com right now to snag your deal.
RocketGrabPlus.com.
The WSGW Morning Team Show.
WSW online poll, America's governmental powers. So this year, as we're celebrating the 246th birthday of these United States, 235th birthday of the Constitution, by the way. Our government structure of three branches, using the system of checks and balances to ensure no entity has total power. It continues to be tested, but it endures. But is one branch more powerful than another, do you think? Some say the executive branch with the executive orders, the pardons, the vetoes. The legislative branch, the ability to write laws, approve appointments, impeach. The judicial branch, if for no other reason, the lifetime appointments. So our poll question for you is, what branch of government do you believe is the most powerful? Do you think it's the executive, the legislative, the judicial? Do you believe all are equal? Or you're just not sure? You head to WSW.com, you scroll down the homepage, you can make your votes that way, and we appreciate you voting. You have the power to vote.
The Morning Team Show, weekdays 5:30 till 9 on WSGW. From the premier kitchen and bath gallery showroom and design center studios, you are listening to 100.5 and 790 WSGW.
All right, we're back with you on the Art Lewis Show. We'll get to our phones in a second here. I want to answer the poll question Charlie posed about the most powerful branch of government. In my view, even though we have three equal and separate branches of government as outlined in the Constitution, I believe over the years that the most powerful branch has become the Supreme Court. And I say that because it is the only branch that can negate anything done by the other two. Now, even though they most typically defer to the president and most typically defer to legislation as long as it meets the constitutional test, they have the power to totally negate anything that either of the other two branches do. So from that standpoint, I say that they have become the most powerful. And I heard a speech a number of years ago from a federal judge who put forth the notion that it was not the founding fathers' intention for the court to become as powerful as it has. But it has, and it is. And of course, has also become a political juggernaut when it comes to presidential politics, because to me, when you elect the president of the United States, you are in a de facto way nominating Supreme Court justices because they will follow the politics of the president doing the nomination. As we've seen, President Trump during his time had 3 court appointees, and it literally changed the balance of the court. Didn't change it totally because people forget it still was a 5-4 majority. But there was always a swing vote, so you didn't know totally which way it was going to go. At 6-3, it's a little bit different. And so I really believe that's one of the most important powers we give to a president of the United States. All right, let's talk to Russ in Bay City. Russ, good morning.
Good morning, Art. Well, I was going to talk about Snyder, but now that you brought up the Supreme Court, I would like to beg to differ.
Well, you may beg all you like.
And no, I could be wrong, but I think you're absolutely right. When Democrat presidents appoint a Supreme Court justice, they do follow that Democrats' politics to the letter.
You don't think Republicans do the same thing?
But as Justice Kennedy, Justice O'Connor, and Justice Roberts have proved over and over again, the Republicans have nominated judges who pretended to be conservative until they got to the court. And then, boom, guess what? I'm a liberal. Fooled you.
No, I don't think so. Because first of all, in the hearings for any of those judges, they never tell you how they're going to vote on a particular issue.
No, but they are selected based on their
previous judicial history. Absolutely.
And you know, you look like the 3 that I mentioned, they gave the appearance in their judicial history up until they got to the court that they were conservative justices or judges, and they weren't.
Well, here's how I'm going to differ with you. Here's how I'm going to differ with you.
Okay.
I don't want a conservative or a liberal justice. I want a justice who does one thing, and that is takes the case before them and applies it to the Constitution to see if it fits. If it doesn't fit, it loses. If it fits, it wins.
In
That's
an
what
ideal
I
world,
want.
I'd agree with you, but we don't live in an ideal world.
Oh, I know that.
And these are political animals.
I know that.
Judges,
But
lawyers.
however,
you know,
however, having said that, you're pointing out that the very people you've pointed out are exactly what we're looking for. People who don't go in with a
they only
political
come from one
prejudice.
side of the aisle.
Well, yeah. but,
Seriously,
you know,
can you ever point to a middle of the road swing vote that came from a Democrat president?
I don't know. I'm sure there is. I'd have to go back and research it.
How can we be sure if we can't even name one?
Well, how
can't
can you be
name
sure of
one.
anything? How can you be sure of anything? Once they reach the court and it's a lifetime appointment, they can vote any way they want.
I just named three right off the bat.
Yeah, because
I did
they're
some
recent.
research. I bet I could find some more.
Yeah, no, I bet you can find some Democrats if you looked.
Well, I've looked and I haven't been able to.
Okay. All right.
And, you know, I wish someone could prove me wrong. Go ahead.
Regardless, that's where the power is.
Oh, and I agree with that. They definitely have the power.
Yep.
And, you know, I don't know if they deserve that much power or if anyone really does, but it's the way it is. It's, you know.
It's the way it is. That's right. Exactly.
And,
That's exactly right. And until
like I
somebody
said, my
somebody
whole
figures out how
problem-
to change the Constitution, that's the way it's going to stay.
you know, is that I think the Republican presidents need to do a little bit more homework like the Democrats do.
All right. Good enough.
Have a good
Thanks,
one.
Ruff. Take care. Bye-bye now.
Bye-bye.
All right, we'll be back. Lines open for you. Give us a call here on the Art Lewis Show.
I wanted to know why some people who get COVID-19 get it so bad. I found out it may be because they have a high risk factor, such as heart disease, diabetes, being overweight, smoking, and asthma. Even if symptoms feel mild, these factors can increase your risk of COVID-19 turning severe. So if you're at high risk and test positive, there are things you can do, like asking your healthcare provider if an authorized oral treatment is right for you. Learn about an option at treatcovid19.com. This message is sponsored by Pfizer.
Right now, our country feels divided, but there's a place where people are coming together.
I got to tell you, I was nervous to talk to someone so different than me.
Me too, but I'm glad we are.
Love Has No Labels and One Small Step are helping people with different political views, beliefs, and life experiences come together through conversation, and it feels good.
Wow, your story is so...
Interesting?
Yeah.
When people actually sit down, talk, and listen to one another, they can break down boundaries and connect as human beings. At lovehasnolabels.com/onesmallstep, you can listen to amazing, life-changing conversations and find simple tools to start a conversation of your own.
I know one thing. This conversation gives me hope.
It gives me a lot of hope too.
Take a step toward bringing our country and your community together by having the courage to start a conversation at lovehasnolabels.com/onesmallstep. A message from StoryCorps, Love Has No Labels, and the Ad Council.
Country Legends, sponsored by O'Reilly Auto Parts. Singer-songwriter Reese Palmer admits it's not easy being a woman of color in the country music world, but she does not regret her career choice.
I knew in the very beginning that there weren't a lot of people that looked like me. And I knew that that was going to be a mountain that I was going to have to climb. But I love the songwriting. I love the storytelling.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all your car care needs. Get the parts and service you need fast from the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
WSGW is your station for the Tigers.
Fly ball deep down the left field line, hooking in the corner, gone! Eric Haas, line drive, 3-run shot, and the Tigers have broken it wide open.
Tigers Baseball, brought to you in part by Premier Kitchen and Bath.
On the next Markley Van Camp and Robin show, the January 6th committee says Trump tried to commandeer the USS Enterprise. He also gave Captain Kirk a swirly.
Markley, Van Camp, and Robbins. Weekdays at noon on 100.5 and 790. News Radio WSGW.
All right, we're back with you here on WSGW, the Art Lewis Show. How often in the past have you heard the J.D. Power initial quality study of automobiles come out, and time after time after time, it's foreign makes. And somewhere on the list, maybe if we're lucky, there's an American brand or two. Well, guess what? The new J.D. Power initial quality study is out, and an American brand tops the list. Buick was ranked number 1 on the J.D. Power quality survey, followed by Dodge, which was number 2. And then came Chevrolet, Genesis, Kia, Lexus, GMC, Cadillac, BMW, and Ford. That was the top 10. Isn't that a positive thing? Finally, American brands are being produced with the same quality or better than foreign manufacturers. Hats off to General Motors, Dodge, companies producing these vehicles. Also, by the way, speaking of vehicles, the new Cadillac EV, the Lyriq electric SUV, has begun to hit the marketplace slowly but surely. They accelerated production, by the way. It was anticipated production on the Lyriq would begin in 9 months. They pulled that up by 9 months and started producing the Lyriq. So slowly but surely, it will make its way to various dealerships around the country. Base price starting $61,000. Base price, and goes up from there, obviously, depending what you put on it. Because of chip shortages and things of that nature today, they will only be producing the rear-wheel drive version for now instead of the all-wheel drive, and you will not be able to get the heads-up display yet. All of that coming. And I heard a story the other day that auto manufacturers, and I thought they said this last year too, they're saying by the end of the year the chip shortage should alleviate itself and we should have a lot more chips and all of that, so that these vehicles that are being shipped with various functions not operating will be able to be brought up to speed by dealers who will get the chips and install it. For example, if you buy a pickup from a manufacturer, you may find that the pickup, certain things don't work. And the chips will be sent to the dealer down the road so that 6 months or a year from now, you'll get a note from the dealer saying, bring in your truck and we'll put in the chips and you'll have everything you paid for. Hopefully, that ends. The other thing is, when that ends, let's hope production gets up so that we don't see the empty lots we see today. Now, it's been predicted that because of the Fed's increase in interest rates, automotive sales are going to take a bit of a hit. We've seen extremely high used car prices. They are expected to level off, if not decline. More than likely, dealers will not be able to get over sticker on some cars on the lot because of the financing. And people are probably going to be less eager to run out and buy a vehicle because the interest rates are going to be higher. Going to see how this all plays out in the long run. Let's talk to Gene in Bay City. Gene's going to be our last caller. Good morning, Gene.
Hi, good morning. Thanks for taking my call.
Sure.
If you think back to when Kennedy was running for president, the competition were, one of the things they were saying was because he was Catholic and we hadn't had a president that was Catholic, they were talking about, well, the Pope is going to run the country. But Kennedy had high character and he went by the Constitution, and that did not happen. He was fair to everybody. Now, you look at the Supreme Court. Now, I'm not sure what religion each one is, but I know the last two are Catholic. And when it makes me wonder on the decisions. Now, the abortion has already been decided, but I know the Catholic Church doesn't like birth control and things like that, and they're not happy with gay people.
Well, just a minute, Gene. Before we get too deep here, I have to point something out. Particularly in recent years, politics hasn't come into play, because if it did, many Democrats would be pro-life. The famous quote I like to point to was Nancy Pelosi as she was leaving a press conference.
Yeah, I
was asked why
that,
she hated the president. She said, "I don't hate anybody. I was raised a good Catholic." The next question should have been, "Why do you then favor abortion?" But nobody asked it.
She does not favor abortion. She favors free choice.
What's the difference?
There's a big difference.
Is there really?
She is not promoting, she is not telling people, go and get an abortion. She is saying you have free choice.
Well,
but anyways,
okay.
Let me finish
real quick, because you got 20 seconds, because I'm out of time. Go ahead.
Okay. I just worry that one particular domination is going to start making the laws, too many of the laws for the entire country.
We're gonna end where we started then, because you said the same thing back about when Kennedy was elected and it didn't happen, and I don't think it's going to happen now.
But it's already proof.
I gotta go. Got to go, Gene.
Thank you.
Time's
God
up.
bless.
Bye-bye. You too. Bye.
Looking for a tasty meal with drinks and fun? Come to Knollview Golf Course. We are open to the public with the best outdoor patio bar on the Sunrise side. Enjoy happy hour at the Final Four Gazebo Bar on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Sunday from 2 to 5. Enjoy steak, salmon, chicken, or shrimp on the grill, as well as outdoor music Fridays and Saturdays. Bikers welcome. Delicious lunch menu. You don't have to be a golfer to have fun at Knollview Golf Course. Check us out on 23 in All Gray or online at knollviewgolf.com. See you this summer.
RocketGrabPlus.com. This week's deal on RocketGrabPlus.com is for Salon Blue. You are going to get a shampoo, cut, and a deep condition for only $40. You must book an appointment with this deal. Walk-ins are not available. All of the service providers at Salon Blue are fully licensed through the state of Michigan. Call 989-772-8898 or visit salonblue.com. Head to RocketGrabPlus.com right now to snag your deal.
RocketGrabPlus.com.
This is a paid advertisement for legal services. Ricky LeBlanc, Chestnut Hill, Mass. Admitted in Massachusetts only. While this firm maintains joint responsibility, most cases of this type are referred to other attorneys for principal responsibility. Members, Paul J. Morgan, Winter Park, Florida. Nick Neiswander, Florence, Kentucky. Rich Grabo, 970 Farmington Avenue, West Hartford, Connecticut. 860-904-7789. Michael Bo Gonzalez, admitted Louisiana. Filing number LA-22-13614. No representation is made that the quality of the legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other attorneys. I am a paid non-attorney spokesperson. Attention U.S. Marines. Veterans were exposed to toxic chemicals in the drinking water on Camp Lejeune between 1953 and 1987. Exposure to these chemicals increased the risk for cancer, birth defects, and other serious health problems. If you or a loved one were exposed to contaminated water on Camp Lejeune, you may be entitled to compensation. A new law gives legal rights to those harmed. It is not too late to take action. Call Sokolov Law now for a free legal consultation at 1-800-397-8100. 1-800-397-8100. 1-800-397-8100.
The Tribute to Summer concert series takes center stage at Saguenay Ingalls Landing. Don't miss 1964, a recreation of the Beatles' earliest concerts on June 16th, and Rumors, the ultimate Fleetwood Mac tribute show on June 30th. All shows are outside in the parking lot on the south side of Worth Road and include $10 free play for adults. Saguenay Ingalls Landing Casino and Hotel. Real fun, real friendly. Visit saguenay-eagleslanding.com for complete rules and details.
All right, that'll do it for the Art Lewis Show for this Wednesday. I'm off tomorrow, and Charlie will be sitting in. In the meantime, stick around. We'll have Focus. We'll talk to Mike Bacigalupo from the State Theater in Winona Park in Bay City. All of that coming up after the news.
From the Premier Kitchen and Bath Gallery Studios, WSGW, Saginaw, Bay City, Midland, WSGW FM, Carlton.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by Liberty Mutual Insurance.
I'm Steve Kathan. Two members of the Secret Service dispute a White House aide's testimony about President Trump's actions as the Capitol was under attack. But CBS News contributor and former Trump Chief of Staff Mick Mulvaney says on the whole, what Cassidy Hutchinson said was explosive.
She testified that he knew that there were guns on property and that he still encouraged people to go down to the Capitol. That certainly changes my mind. Whether or not it's going to change the hardcore MAGA supporters on the right wing of the party, I don't know. That remains to be seen.
Well, CBS's John Dickerson says there is reason to believe her.
She was under oath. She also testified at a time where there's a high cost to testifying. At the current moment, particularly in Republican politics, you are ostracized. You are threatened with violence.
At the NATO meeting in Madrid, President Biden promised more American military support to face challenges posed by Russia's invasion of Ukraine. Celeste Wallander is an Assistant Secretary of Defense.
The Eastern flank countries are facing a heightened threat of a Russian leadership that has shown itself willing and capable of launching military attacks on bordering countries.
Ukraine's President Zelensky called for NATO to send more weapons to his country. The Supreme Court says an Iraq war vet can sue the state of Texas over his claim that he was forced out of his job as a state trooper when he returned home. Leroy Torres suffered severe injuries when he was overseas. At the Vatican today, a papal mass at St. Peter's Basilica, significant because House Speaker Nancy Pelosi received communion. Her home archbishop has refused her because she backs abortion rights. Pelosi also met with Pope Francis beforehand. One tragedy follows another for a family, as we hear from CBS's Jim Krasula.
Police in Chesterfield, Virginia, outside Richmond, say an unidentified man shot and killed himself after discovering that he had left his 18-month-old son in a hot car. The child also died. The incident happened midday Tuesday. Police Lieutenant Christopher Hensley.
This is a horrible tragedy on so many levels, and our hearts go out to the family and friends that are going to deal with this.
New numbers indicate the pandemic has taken a toll on pregnant women and new moms. CBS's Trinity Chavez.
Deaths during pregnancy or right after delivery increased 18% in the U.S. in 2020. That's according to new maternal mortality data from the National Center for Health Statistics. The analysis shows the death rate just after the start of the pandemic was even higher, and Black and non-white Hispanic mothers were impacted most.
Wall Street, right now the Dow is up 102 points. This is CBS News.
Liberty Mutual customizes your car and home insurance, so you only pay for what you need. Visit libertymutual.com to learn more.
This is what camping sounds like when you have sleep apnea and struggle with CPAP. And this is what camping sounds like when you have Inspire and don't need a CPAP. If you have sleep apnea and struggle with CPAP, Inspire could work for you. Inspire works inside the body and keeps you breathing normally and sleeping peacefully. No mask, no hose, just sleep. To learn more, visit inspiresleep.com.
Inspire is not for everyone. Talk to your doctor to see if it's right for you and review important safety information at inspiresleep.com.
Here at Total Wine & More, you'll love what you find, especially our totally low prices. I'm firing up the grill for burgers and want to impress the neighbors. This bourbon has a smoky flavor that'll go great with your grilling. Nice! Wow, and look at that price. Well done. I prefer medium rare. Your neighbors will love what you find. Only at Total Wine & More. Pickup and delivery available at TotalWine.com. Drink responsibly, B21.
I wanted to know why some people who get COVID-19 get it so bad. I found out it may be because they have a high risk factor, such as heart disease, diabetes, being overweight, smoking, and asthma. Even if symptoms feel mild, these factors can increase your risk of COVID-19 turning severe. So if you're at high risk and test positive, there are things you can do, like asking your healthcare provider if an authorized oral treatment is right for you. Learn about an option at treatcovid19.com. This message is sponsored by Pfizer.
RocketGrabPlus.com. Summer is officially here. The perfect time to save some money. And why pay full price when you know you can save money at RocketGrabPlus.com? Check out all of our deals going on right now, from Applied Training Solutions Style Encore, One Up Games and Repairs, Daylight Outfitters, 120 Fitness, and more. Half off? Yeah, it's true. And it's all at RocketGrabPlus.com.
RocketGrabPlus.com.
Live from the 100.5 and 790 newsroom, this is WSGW News.
68 degrees at 11:05. Good morning. I'm Ann Williams. The Planet Fitness in Midland closed early last night after a man made threats to staff. Midland police say officers responded to the business about 9 p.m., where employees said a man had called because he was upset his membership had been deactivated and would not be reinstated. Employees said the man threatened to show up at the fitness center and be violent, but did not make any mention any weapons. The business closed early as a precaution, and Midland police have extra patrols around the area. Police have identified the suspect and plan to bring him in for questioning about the incident. Anyone with information is asked to call Midland Police. Midland Parks and Recreation has announced that Plymouth Pool will be closed until further notice due to a positive test for total coliform bacteria. That came from a routine water sampling. Midland Parks and Recreation is working with the Midland County Health Department to correct the problem. A follow-up water sampling test will be done Thursday. Once it's safe for the pool to reopen, an update will be posted on the City of Midland website, the Parks and Recreation rainout line, and Midland Parks and Recreation's social media channels. Michigan State Police are warning the public of a phone call scam. Several people have called to report they received a call from a state police representative asking for donations. State Police reminds residents that they will never call and ask you to send money. WSGW News Time is coming up on 11:07.
I always wanted to learn Spanish, but I never thought I'd have the time. Then I discovered Babbel.
Babbel's lessons are fun. They only take like 10 or 15 minutes, and in 3 weeks, presto, you're speaking another language. Like magic.
I love that Babbel's lessons aren't just robots talking. They're voiced by native speakers, so you get the pronunciation just right. And they're designed by real language teachers, so you learn how to have real-world conversations, things you'll actually use.
3 weeks. It's incredible. After 3 weeks, I'm on vacation in Paris, having a conversation in French.
There's all kinds of ways to learn. Use Babbel's podcasts or games or videos. You can even join live classes with a language teacher.
If you want to learn a language, there's no faster, easier, better way than
Babbel.
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 Babbel. Évidemment.
Go to Babbel.com to try for free. That's BABBEL.com. Babbel.com.
WSGW News Time is 11:08. The Independence Day holiday means outdoor barbecue, summertime fun, and fireworks. Ascension St. Mary's Hospital in Saginaw wants everyone to be safe this year when handling fireworks with some safety tips. Here's WSGW's Michael Percha.
In 2020, about 15,600 people were treated in hospital emergency departments around the country for firework-related injuries. Even something seemingly innocent like sparklers can cause severe injury, as the heat they produce can reach temperatures of 2,000 degrees. Using common sense and taking safety precautions can help prevent tragedy on what should be a fun day for the entire family. Point fireworks away from you in occupied areas, even when they aren't lit. Don't let young children use sparklers, and closely monitor older children's use. Keep a water source nearby in case of fire and accidents. Only use legal fireworks approved for consumer use, or enjoy a public commercial show if possible. And avoid using fireworks if you've been drinking alcohol. If anyone experiences a firework-related injury or burn, call 911 or go to the nearest emergency room. Michael Percha, News Radio 100.5 and 790.
If you're planning to travel on the 4th of July, you won't be alone, as the number of people expected to hit the road for the extended holiday weekend is expected to be the highest in 3 years.
The projections we're saying is nearing or exceeding pre-pandemic levels. So we definitely could go past those levels. But I would say the most important thing for people to realize is that your experience as a traveler is going to be similar to your experience in 2019. So don't go to the airport expecting some of those pandemic era no crowd experiences. There's going to be a lot of people. There's going to be delays, and you should be prepared for that.
That's TSA spokeswoman Jessica Maley, who says if you're flying this weekend, you should arrive at the airport 2 hours before your flight is scheduled to leave. In addition, she says, in light of the series of recent cancellations and delays, you should check with your airline ahead of time to see if your flight is still available. When you see news happening, call the WSGW Newsroom 752-0790. It is coming up on 11:10. I'm Ann Williams.
Here's your WSGW weatherology forecast. Skies will become mostly sunny here for today, with a high getting into the upper 70s. Winds out of the west between 5 and 10 miles per hour. And then for tonight, partly cloudy sky conditions, a low around 60. Thursday, sunshine, a high around 90 degrees. Then by Friday, a chance for showers and thunderstorms. Cloudy skies, a high around 86. Saturday, mostly sunny, high of 86 degrees. Then by Sunday, plenty of blue skies and sun with a high of 84. Monday, a chance for rain showers, partial sunshine, high of 84 degrees. I'm meteorologist Jennifer Wojcicki with the WSGW weatherology forecast. Currently, it's 69.
Now, it's time to focus as WSGW presents the people, the places, the businesses, the culture, the area events and activities, all put into focus on 100.5 and 790 News Radio WSGW and online WSGW.com.
And a good morning. Welcome to another edition of Focus on WSGW, brought to you by RoofMax, the safe and affordable alternative to asphalt shingle roof replacement. You can find out more about it online at GetRoofMax.com. That's GetRoofMax.com. Or call Ben at 989-859-6751. And remember, RoofMax, spelled with 2 X's. On Focus this morning, we're going to find out what's happening this summer in Bay City. We're going to talk to a man who I have dubbed with the name Mr. Bay City. It's actually easier than pronouncing his name, but I will anyway. We say good morning to Mike Bacigalupo. Mike, good morning.
Good morning, Art. How are you? Thanks for having me.
Hey, glad to have you. Bay City in the summertime, I mean, it's a great place to go year round, but it really comes alive in the summer, doesn't it?
Yeah, we have many things happening in Bay City, whether it's on the west side of Bay City, the east side of Bay City, wherever. There's always something happening in Bay City, and you can't, if you can't find something to do, just ask somebody; they'll tell you where to go.
So let's talk about the things, of course, things you're directly involved with: the State Theater, Winona Park, and all of those good things. Let's start with the State Theater. And what a fabulous little theater it is. And I say little theater respectfully because it's only 400 some odd seats, but it's the way it's decorated. It goes back to when? What's the motif design of the theater?
Well, the theater was originally built in 1908, but the motif that it is now is what it looked like back in 1930s. So 1930, it went from a brick inside building to a Mayan temple looking building to what it looks like today. And that's what they had made it look like back in the 30s.
Yeah, and it really is classy. Really is. So what's happening in the State Theater? What's coming up these days?
Well, this winter or fall at the State Theater, we've got a couple of different shows happening at the theater. One of them, of course, is one that's been here most of the fall. We have our good friend Kevin Cole going to be doing a Christmas holiday show at the theater. We have the Tri-City Chorus of Sweet Adelines. They do their fall show. We have Elvis tribute artist Jake Slater. He's going to be doing a fall show. We have, of course, our Sundays in the City movies series. At Christmas time, we have a Rocky Mountain Christmas with Ted Vigil, who's a spitting image of John Denver. He's doing a Rocky Mountain Christmas. And then, as I said earlier, Kevin Cole, and then the Bay Chorale, they're doing their Christmas concert. And we're just having a lot of fun this fall here at the theater. Obviously, we don't do much in the summertime because of the everyone wants to be outside. Nobody wants to be inside. So we kind of do everything outside in the summertime, which I'm sure we're going to be talking about next.
That's next. You bet. I just like that theater so much. I had to start there.
Yeah.
Winona Park, you were able to literally reinvent it in a lot of ways with the new construction, and it looks wonderful. And a great place to sit outdoors and watch great entertainment. So what's coming up?
Yeah. So I'll give you the listeners a brief history. In 2018, we finished the Nicholas Family Community Pavilion and Concession Stand. We finished that in 2018. And then in 2020, we finished the Winona Park World Friendship Shell Amphitheater. So we kind of reconfigured the park in its own right, and we made it so that we can seat more people. We have a lot more shade in the park, and we have an amphitheater that is now more acoustically sound than it ever has been. So what's coming up? Starting, and everything's going to be starting this weekend. Obviously, we had a few things happen in June, but in July, we have our free movies in the park starting on Tuesdays. On Wednesday afternoons, we have our Young People Summer Series starting right under the pavilion at 11:15, and then Wednesdays in the park is continuing on starting on July 6th. Thursdays at Uptown by the Real Seafood Company, we have free concerts. Friday at the Waterfall Park, we have free concerts, and then of course we have some major national acts coming as well.
Okay, so hold that thought. We'll come back and talk about those acts. And I got to take a break. Yep. We're coming back. We're talking to Mike Bacigalupo about things happening in Bay City this summer. More ahead after these notes.
Nori's Restaurant of Auburn invites you in to dine for breakfast, lunch, or dinner. Nori's of Auburn is under new ownership and would love to serve your smiling face. With traditional breakfast and home-style cooking, you won't leave hungry. Nori's of Auburn is also hiring an experienced line cook. If you or someone you know has restaurant experience and is looking for a new home, call 989-266-3314 to find out more. Nori's of Auburn is located at 963 West Midland Road in Auburn.
We're proud to make Pioneer Sugar for you and your family. Proud to be found in your kitchen, the heart of your home. And it doesn't really matter what you make with Pioneer Sugar, whether it's with our granulated white, light brown, or soft confectioners. It's the memories you'll make using it that will matter the most. Pioneer Sugar, pure and all natural, made from sugar beets grown right here. What could be sweeter than that?
We tried Dynovite for gut health and immune support, and after a couple of weeks, our little Gizmo was acting like a puppy again. His coat was shinier, he had a lot less scratching and shedding, and he seemed like his happy old self.
My dog smelled and scratched constantly. We bathed and sprayed her, took her to the vet, but no results. Now, a little Dynovite in her food helps Bella keep her beautiful coat with no scratching or smell.
Get 10% off your next order of Dynovite nutritional supplements for dogs at Dynovite.com. Happier, healthier with every bite. Over 1 million pets helped with Dynovite.
Listen to this station anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is your new audio home for all the music, news, sports, and podcasts that matter to you. Odyssey. That's AUDACY.
You have the chance to win a WSGW and Edible Arrangements of Saginaw Red, White, and Blueberry platter. To enter your name in the weekly random drawing, head to WSGW.com, scroll down the homepage, and find the WSGW and Edible Arrangements Red, White, and Blueberry contest box. Click and enter your name. Each Friday in June, we'll give away a prize. A red, white, and blueberry platter for you from Edible Arrangements on Tittabawassee Road in Saginaw and WSGW.
The WSGW Broadcasting Studios are sponsored by the premier kitchen and bath gallery showroom and design center in Midland.
All right, we're back with you here on WSGW, talking to Mike Bacigalupo about things happening this summer in Bay City. All right, when we left, we were about to talk about some of the major acts coming into Winona Park this year. So give us an update on that, Mike.
Okay, well, starting on July 8th, we have Pop Evil with special guest Riot 5. And a lot of you may know Pop Evil. They're a big Michigan band from the west side of the state. But a lot of you probably do know and have seen them on national TV. Our good friend Todd Michael Hall, who owns Glassbender, is the lead singer of Riot 5. So he'll be here performing Friday, July 8th. And then Saturday, July 9th, we have Brett Young with special guest Bay City born Matt Ferrante. And then on July 10th, we have Lone Star Lone Star and Randy Hauser playing, doing a country show as well. And then July 23rd, we have Here Come the Mummies, which is a great group. They're all national known musicians that dress up in mummy costumes, so you don't even know who they are. And then obviously on August 6th, we have the State Theater's major fundraiser. It's the Hop Riot Beer Festival. And then this year we have the first ever jazz festival in Winona Park on August 13th. But the night before, on August 12th, we have Five for Fighting, and we have the Verve Pipe going to be playing there. And then to end the concert series this year, we have John Waite, Men at Work, and Rick Springfield all at Winona Park.
Wow. Is there a website where people can go to get the lineups of both the park and the theater?
Yep, they can go to www.statetheaterbaycity.com, and theater is spelled R-E.
And, there really is a lot more going on in Bay City. I know we're going to be at the Cool City Car Show again in July. Bay City has really come alive in the summertime, doesn't it? It really comes alive.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, there are so many things going on that, I know we don't have to. I mean, you and I could spend 3 days trying to talk about everything that we have going on just in the summertime. But Fireworks Festival is this weekend, kicks off tomorrow night. We have the Cool City Car Show that is next weekend. We have the concerts over in Vets Park. We have the Rib Fest coming back at the end of July.
Yes. Yes.
There's so many things happening in Bay City alone, not just downtown, but Bay City alone, that, it just makes Bay City a great place to be.
What is there, Mike, that attracted you there?
Well, I was brought over to this country when I was a year old. I was born in Detroit. I'm sorry. I was born in Detroit, and when I was a year old, we moved to Bay City. I didn't have a choice. But I grew up in Bay City. I went to school in Bay City. I worked in Bay City, and I've been here all my life. And I can honestly say that I've been to other cities and see what goes on in there. But I always like coming back home because I always like to see what we're doing differently than other cities are doing.
And you actually, in order to do the things you do in Bay City now, I mean, you gave up your profession for which you were trained.
Oh, yeah. I was medically trained, and I left that profession in 2013, and I just became engrossed in what we're doing in Bay City and Saginaw and the region.
Yep.
Because obviously you and I are on another committee together, and we're working on the LPGA together. But I like to do a lot of different things in the region to make to make the region a better place to live, work, and play.
And speaking of the LPGA, Annika Sorenstam has announced that she is going to be playing this year. What a coup to get her on the course! Absolutely.
Oh yeah. That's. I saw the announcement as well, and so you and I have some work to do on trying to get these names correct when we announce them at the tee box.
Yeah, I got you. Well, listen,
Yeah,
Mike.
yeah.
I have to tell you, it's a pleasure knowing you, not just through the radio, but knowing you off air as a friend. And I really appreciate what you do for Bay City and the region.
Well, I enjoy doing everything that I do here. I know. It only makes the place better, and we can only make our place better when we're here, and we can have fun doing it.
All right, Mike. We'll talk again.
All right. Thanks so much.
Thanks for being with us.
Have a great day.
You too. Bye-bye now.
Bye-bye.
Mike Butchgalupo, we thank him for joining us, and we'll be back to close out.
Create your ideal backyard this summer with 11% off everything at Menards. Now is a great time to start building your outdoor projects with the Midwest's largest selection.